welcome back to my channel, StudyWise. Today we're going to tackle a topic that many of you have requested, tips and tricks for acing those tricky science MCQs on the IGCSE exam. Whether you're preparing for physics, chem or bio, or even combined science, I've got you covered. So let's get started. But before we go anywhere, please don't forget to subscribe, like, leave a comment and turn on the notification bell. Well, a code that helped me to keep going and reduce my anxiety before the exam is, unless the exam is not tomorrow, you're safe. And what if it's tomorrow? You're still safe, but you have a very small chance that you could either get disowned or kicked out of the house. But I'll tell you, you could study something or just go through a topic the night before the exam, and if you're lucky enough it turns out in your paper, then you get it correct. So just don't lose hope and keep going. Although paper 2 is sometimes overlooked, it accounts for almost 30% of your final mark. The multiple choice questions are often ignored by students who believe that it's an easy win, but take care. The paper 2, which assesses your comprehension of all the syllabus chapters, can be very challenging, so avoid being taken away by the nice holiday gap. It's not actually a holiday, it's just a gap between the tough exams such as paper 4 and 6 and your paper 2s, which should be used only in preparation. Okay, you could get enough sleep, you could chill for a while, but don't get taken away by the nice gap and keep on procrastinating and keep on putting off today's work to tomorrow. You're gonna basically fail. Like, it's only 30%, but believe me or not, it's gonna carry your grade. Like, sometimes I know people that messes up in paper 4 or paper 6, but they ace the MCQ paper and they still get an A star. So never lose hope. Even if you think that you did not do well in the other papers, never lose hope in doing good in this one. Alright, so let's talk about how to ace this paper and reach your greatest potential. 1. Read the questions carefully. Always take your time to read each question thoroughly. It's easy to miss an important detail if you're in a rush. So good quality reading would spare you some head pain. Trust me. Just imagine the scenario. You go through a question, you assume that you don't have time, so you don't read the question carefully. You go through the choices, and then you point out that you need to go back to the question and read it. You waste even more time. So trust me, good quality reading would spare a lot of pain. And make sure that you point out the double negative statements, or for example, if they ask you for what is the correct answer, or what is not the correct answer, what is the wrong answer, there's some statements that could be confusing. So always underline these keywords, the question's keyword, and make sure that you understand what they're asking for. Eliminate wrong answers. If I had only one tip to give to anyone that's entering an MCQ paper, I would tell them to learn how to eliminate. This is one of the most favorite ways I love to answer any MCQ question, and trust me, this is how I ace them. If you're unsure about an answer, try to eliminate the obvious incorrect options. This increases your chances that you would pick the right one. It's easier to point out what's wrong than what's right. Worst case scenario, that you'd eliminate 2 obvious wrong ones and you would be left with 2, which is a 50-50% chance that you could guess the correct one in case you have no clue. So eliminating, for example, 2 options would increase your chance to 50-50%, other than just having a 25%. Tip number 3, time management. This is a crucial part for the exam, as paper 2 is tight on time. It's only 45 minutes. So always keep an eye on the clock. I would advise you to carry a digital stopwatch or a watch, because it's easier. Sometimes the centers, the examination centers, will tell you you're not allowed to do that, so just check back with your Cambridge officer. But they would give you a clock on the wall, so make sure that you know how to read these. So allocate your time wisely and don't spend too long in any one question. If you're stuck, thank you and next, move on and come back later if you still have time. Remember, one question is 1 mark, So don't spend a lot of time and compromise and risk the chance that you get the next question correct. So remember, skipping a question prevents you from getting stuck and wasting valuable time. And like with my own experience, whenever I leave something that I'm not sure of till the end of the exam, I would usually get the answer like in the back of my brain. And it takes time for you to recall it, like it's proven scientifically. So by the end of the exam, you'll be able to know how to answer it, or at least guess correctly. So, of course, you're not gonna skip all the questions. You don't say, oh, I'm skipping 15 questions and I'll come back later. That's insane. Don't do that. Referring to the grade threshold, an A lies at 33 for an easy paper and 28 for a hard paper, so don't stress it if the paper wasn't easy. The threshold would be low, hopefully. So read the question and aim for a 1 minute, one question, like 1 minute per question. And adjust the length of the time depending on the complexity of the question. So allocate more time to the trickier question that you flagged during reading. So mathematically, you're supposed to have 1 minute per question. But actually, the easy questions, you could spend like 30 seconds answering them. But they could be like one or two hard questions that start targeting the high graders. So you could spend like 2 minutes in that question, which is totally fine. So consider making time intervals on your answer booklet so you could like visualize the time remaining and it could act as a reminder. And if you ask me how should I practice my time management, I would tell you do mock exams under time conditions, strict time conditions, to stimulate your exam experience and make sure that you refine your time allocation strategies. By mock exams, I mean a lot of exams. Even if you're just like 2 days behind your exam, you're still good, as I said before. Unless the exam is not tomorrow, you're cool. So chill and solve more paper. And it's only 45 minutes, and you have 24 hours per day. So you could calculate how many papers you could solve. Answer every question. Remember, there's no penalty for guessing an answer on the RGCSE. So make sure you answer every single question, and also remember that an educated guess is better than a no answer at all. Always go with your first answer unless you have a reason, a reason why your first answer could be wrong. Because your first answer most likely is always correct. Tip number 5 is to stay calm. This is very important and crucial because it could even be more important than being well prepared. Because even if you're well prepared but you have anxiety and you're stressed and you're overthinking and you're constantly thinking about the amount of stuff that could go wrong while you're doing the exam, you're not gonna pay attention to the exam tricks. You're not gonna you won't have that clarity that would help you focus and answer the questions, because there will be tricky questions, there will be hard questions. So being relaxed is like a key factor in this exam. So there's several ways to do that. There's several ways to do this. One of them is practicing relaxation techniques such as deep breathing exercises, progressive muscle relaxation, and visualization can also help exam anxiety. Practice these techniques before and during your exam. Positive self-talk. So you need to challenge the negative thoughts with positive affirmation. Remember, your preparation and focus should be on doing your best instead of the outcome. You're not gonna see the grades until 2-3 months from now. So why stress about it while you're in the exam? You have enough time to stress about that later. Maintain a healthy routine. You need to get enough sleep. Trust me, I tried it before. I binged a lot of videos before my exam and I ended up reading weird things in the question. You're not gonna be able to absorb the content of the question or answer or point out the trick parts of the question or the keywords. Nothing. Trust me. Having 7 good quality hours of sleep or even 6 is very important. Eating a healthy meal, a light meal, and to do some exercises in the morning would help you feel relaxed, and you're gonna feel physically and mentally well, which could boost your confidence and focus. Visualize success. Imagine yourself calmly and confidently tackling the exam and achieving your desired result. The positive visualization can reduce anxiety and boost motivation. This is very important. So always remember to stay calm, and if you have any friends that usually talk negative or they keep on ranting on how they'll fail, how the exam is hard, how just stay away. You really don't need to listen to any of the negative thoughts before your exam, nor after. Tip number 6 is basically double check. It's where you review your answers. So try to allocate 5 to 10 minutes at the end of the exam to review your entire answer booklet. Check for basic errors, look for careless mistakes like typos, like units, or a question you misunderstood. Verify all the calculations by redoing any calculation you're unsure of, especially if it was an intense question. Mark down any question you were unsure of. And a very nice tip I would give is, if you finish the question, directly mark it in the bubble sheet, because if you do that, you're not gonna be afraid that you won't have time at the end. So just directly mark it up and make sure that you don't mess up things, because sometimes you would leave a question empty and mark another question in its place, which is a mess. Trust me, I had anxiety in these last 2 minutes filling up the full bubble sheet. At this point, doing practice papers is way more important than reading through your notes, because you want to consolidate your knowledge. Trust me, this is how I got my A star. So, of course, you need to go through the notes and make sure that you're still familiar with every part of it. You still have everything memorized and understand, because you're not going to be able to answer without the knowledge. But practicing is very important. To wrap things up, let's quickly review the key points we covered today. Read questions carefully, eliminate wrong answers, manage your time wisely, and always answer every question. My advice would be to do past papers without looking at any videos or notes. Mark this paper, then look for the answer. Don't just check the marking scheme. This process will make the answers more memorable because of the effort you took to find them. Revising topics you find harder is a must. Yes, I do recommend doing topical questions, but only for the topics you find challenging. Spend more time revising the longer chapters, because longer chapters will have more questions, which will lead to more marks. Analyze your past papers. Don't just do past papers passively. Actively analyze them too, using the method, which is to categorize by chapter. As you solve each question, note down the chapter to which it belongs. Track your performance, which is recording the score you took for each chapter. Then target your revision. So you need to prioritize revising the chapters that you scored the least in. It's advisable to prioritize revising the chapters in which you scored the least in, percentage-wise. This is because changing those chapters will lead to the most significant increase in your marks. For instance, in physics, improving chapter 4 alone will result in 6 additional marks. Imagine that. Once you have revised the topic, attempt another past paper and re-evaluate your performance. Lastly, remember that 20% of your effort results in 80% of your results. In an exam situation, what does this mean? It means that 80% of your syllabus would only result in 20% of the exam. So do not allow yourself to get too stressed. Exams come and they thankfully go. You'll do great, I can feel it. And remember, practice makes perfect. The more you practice these strategies, the more confident you'll become. If you found this video helpful, give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more tips and tricks. Also, leave any questions you have in the comments below, that I love hearing from you. Good luck with your studies, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.